Hey, so you wrote your book, you published it, you then had a great launch, you posted it on social media even, but now sales are dry, it's crickets, income is non-existent. Let's talk about if you could possibly be a booked but broke author. Let's go. So, a booked but broke author is the author who shows up, the author who shows up but still struggles to scale. They've published, they might have even done some events, but they're not seeing any profits, they're not seeing any real returns. Now, they have no brand, no business, really, no strategy. So, definitely no steady income. So, just if you're thinking all of this sounds familiar, this may be where you're at. Now, let's get into a little bit more about it. Here's how to know if you might be this author. Are you promoting your book, but people aren't buying? You've spoken at a few events, but weren't paid? You don't know how to position yourself to be a paid speaker. You thought the book would open doors, but you're left wondering, now what? This happens. This happens. Honestly, and let me just be honest. In the beginning of my journey, this happened to me as well, because I was just so excited for opportunities to talk about my book or opportunities to do anything that I wasn't positioning myself to be as a paid speaker to maximize off of the opportunities. So although I was around, I was here and there, was I being paid? Now, granted, not everything that I do, I seek payment. There may be things that I do just because of helping my community or just because of the importance of being connected to this type of organization will help my brand. Later on, I started to think about different ways of being paid. It was not always about money, but what I could use to leverage off of the experience. So if you're at these spots and you're thinking, well, I've been promoting my book, I've even booked a few events, but somehow I am not able to leverage myself to get paid. Sometimes it needs a good little rebrand. When I started to build my systems, I expected people to approach me differently now. And it is difficult because once you start off to become this public speaker or this person that's identifies as an expert in your field out there, if you're not properly set up with your systems for pay or how people approach you for business, you'll consistently be booked but not getting paid. So what you want to do is that you want to start off with a brand. Your brand helps in how people approach you. Check this. Now, when I started to do public events where I read books or I have a reading at schools or something like that, I realized that for Black authors, many times people would try to limit you for February. So that means they would want you to only come to do book readings and things like that at organizations or schools when it was February. Now, February, 1 month in the year, is not enough time to make money. You want to be able to not be limited by 1 month. And so, and it's not that it was anybody else's fault. It was how you would brand yourself. Now, if I branded myself where all my books, and I do write children's books, all my children's books were only around Black themes or Black ideas, then I would be limited. They'll want to limit me on when I could read those books. But I took a good look at that. I said, okay, I'm going to brand myself in a way that you can't box me into February. And that helps with how much of the professional skills you've had and you've acquired as well to see what else can I talk about? What else can I present to the schools? And so when I reach out with a proposal. I propose the types of workshops, and I don't say readings, I say workshops. And that just sets them up to perceive what I bring in as more than just coming to read a book. And I have everything stipulated in this document, even the learning outcomes. And if you're not sure, or you don't know as yet, I am a licensed teacher. So I have everything in this proposal that is really meeting the pain points or the desires or the expectations that the school may have. and I have it all jotted down. I have the cost of everything jotted down. I have the workshop materials. I have the learning outcomes. I have the situations. They do love a lot of interactive elements. I have interactive elements. I present this as an experience and not just a person coming to read a book for 15, 20 minutes. With that in mind, I never get questioned about my price. Never. So I've already branded myself from my email to my looks to the proposal. When I lay my price down, I've always received with care. When I get there, how I present myself as well is quite different. It's an experience. It entails presentations, it entails setups, it entails a whole routine for the kids to really enjoy being there. And I take this with me anywhere I go and anything that I do. What I'll do is I'll show you one of my setups in a upcoming video. In a couple weeks, I will be speaking at an event where I'm going to be talking about intellectual property. And I'll show you how I set up and how I prepared for this type of speaking engagement, and how I was able to receive this speaking engagement is stemming from being an author. It's stemming from the knowledge that I've acquired as an author and a publisher, and definitely extending itself from me taking time to learn about copyright, intellectual property, and things like that. Now, if you want a video on copyright, let me know. I'll definitely do a video on that. But this type of booked but broke author, it starts to weigh you down. So what's really important is to shift your mindset. Yes, I want to show up. Yes, I want to be seen at everything or every event, but also you need to have intention for that. You need to have a purpose for that. If being at an event is about networking and building connections, remember that, brand for that, make sure that you succeed with that goal. If an organization is going to ask you to show up to read, a women's event is going to ask you to show up to read, see what else you can leverage from the experience. Is it a well branded organization? Will they be branded graphics that you can use to show what you're doing? Are there also opportunities to network? Would you be able to possibly have your logo or anything on their graphics that's promoting their event? You ask different questions to see, if I'm not getting paid financially, what other benefits can I have from the collaboration? And then the next thing is to set up your system. See what are the topics that you can speak on. See the value that they bring. Have it written out. When someone asks you about it, say, I will send you an email. Tell me more about your event, and I will send you an email that will have a description on how I could meet the needs of your event. With that description comes your link to have payments for your public speaking. Now, if they also want you to public speak, and say, for example, that they are a not-for-profit or they don't have the certain, you ask about the budget. What budget are you working with, and what can you do? Now, there's always something that you could say, that you could do to make sure that you maximize on every occasion that you're out there. If you're not going to be paid for public speaking, then you can bring your books and sell. Or somewhere along the graphics, maybe you'll have that you are sponsored, So if you're not going to pay me, then I could consider this as a sponsor. And my time will be considered as a sponsor. My logo will be on your branded materials. And then I can even claim that on taxes. Now, so these are all different ways to leverage and angle yourself, position yourself to be considered just not someone that is just used for their talents, because if it's another person, they'll find the money. You have to find a way to leverage every opportunity. Now, I know this video could only hold so much, but if this is you and you want to figure out how to move past this stuck position, this position of booked but broke, how do I get people to pay me for public speaking? How do I get people to pay me for readings? How do I get people to pay me for the knowledge that I've acquired? How do I move from that? It's really about branding. It's really about setting up systems, and it's really about how you package your product. So I can help you with this. Let's fix this. First, I have something even complimentary for you. Go to my description right now and download the Boss Writer Blueprint. It's really some quick action steps, really incredible information already. And if you've learned from that, which I'm sure you will, book a book boss strategy session with me. We're going to attack all of these different things that you're dealing with and figure out how to move you from book to broke to being booked but with money. Okay, so I thank you guys for checking out this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. There'll be so much more coming up, and I can't wait to hear how some of this content is helping you already. If you had a really strange experience with being booked and not getting paid, let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear it. And maybe we'll talk about how to pivot around some of those opportunities. All right. Thank you guys. See you in the next video.